There are two books that I sold on Amazon Merchant Fulfilled. So I sourced these, I listed them, I kept them on my shelf. Here's all my books for Amazon Merchant Fulfilled, and also all the way down there. So I kept them on these shelves. And then when they sold, which they've sold now, I'm gonna pack them up and ship them out. That's what Merchant Fulfilled is. You essentially deal with everything like you do on eBay, i.e. listing them, i.e. storing them, i.e. shipping them. So that's Merchant Fulfilled if you're not familiar, or FBM, some people say, Fulfilled by Merchant. This is not FBA, where you send it into a warehouse, an Amazon warehouse, and then they store it and then they ship it when it sells. So these are two that I sold over the weekend. It is Monday, November 6th, 2023. This one is the lower priced one. This one sold for $14.99. This was a donation called Mohawk Trail by Beth Brandt. This has actually been around for a while on Amazon. I mean, I listed it a while back last year. August is when I got it. So it's very much a long tail, not a lot of profit, but it did sell for 15 bucks. So that one sold. This one here is the one I want to talk about the most, which is called Paranormal Investigator, True Accounts of the Paranormal. When you see any type of paranormal, ghost type of books, ghost is a little more broad, but paranormal, I would definitely look into these books for sure. And I found this back in February 11th of this year. So February 11th, 2023 is when I found this book in a thrift store I had not been to in a while. I used to go to all the time. And this one stood out. It was only $1. That was it. And it just sold. And it sold for $49.99, I believe. It's just under $50 that it sold for on Amazon. So it took about 11 months to sell, 10, 11 months. And it was well worth it. It's a long tail book. And when you scan it, the other great thing about it, or the interesting thing about it, is that this is when I listed it, it was had a 9 million rank. So like 9 point something million rank on Amazon, sales rank. If you're not familiar with what sales rank is, I suggest looking it up. It's essentially a way to figure out how recently and how often a particular book has sold on Amazon. It also applies to all kinds of, all the other items you can sell on Amazon, but especially media. So 9 million is a very, very high sales rank for a book. Typically, most people will tell you to stay under 1 million, depending on who you're talking to. But a lot of people say stay under 1 million for rank. A lot of people that do long tails will say, oh, I'm comfortable going up to about 3.5 million, maybe 4. But anything beyond that means that that book rarely sells, and that's true. So a 9 million rank, sales rank book, turns out that it hadn't sold in the past year when I found it. And you look back, and my sale is the first one since I listed this. So it seems like it might sell once a year. So it's a very long tail. Right now there's 3 other books on Amazon. The lowest one is $53. And on eBay there's one for $85. So this is a super rare book. It did take a while to sell, and I was glad to see it. See it sell, especially because I only bought it for $1. So this is the kind of perfect example of a long tail, that there's good profit in there. You know, I could have listed it for 20 bucks. It probably would have sold quicker, but I'll wait a little bit longer and wait for the right buyer to come along, and it sells for good money. Would you have bought this in a thrift store? I totally understand if you wouldn't, but for $1, I feel that if I had 100 books like this type of specific genre, super rare book, typically going for over $40, $50, even more in many long tail books, much more, then I'm going to buy it for $1 and sit on it for a while, in this case about 11 months, until it sells. So again, you have to make a decision whether it makes sense for you and your business, whether you have the patience, whether you have the storage space, and make that decision. But I think it's a good way to run, to have a business, is to have a certain percentage of, especially with books, have a certain percentage of them being long tail and selling for, I would say at least, if it's going to take this long, let's say a book that's going to take about close to a year, over 6 months, but closer to a year, if not a little more, to sell, I would say at least $40-$50 you should sell that book for. Even 30 bucks, I don't know if it's worth it to make about $22. Well, on Amazon, it depends on the size of the book, but around 20 bucks. But if you're going to sell it for 40 or 50, you're going to make $35-$40 or more in profit, especially if you can get it free or get it for super cheap, like 50 cents, a buck, even $2 is worth it as far as I'm concerned. But again, I totally understand those that don't want to mess with it. They want to turn over their inventory quickly. I get it, especially if you just don't have that much space to store. Like if you're using bookshelves in your house, if you're using bookshelves in your garage, if you have a small storage unit and you only have so much space and you've got, it can only fit 1,000 books, but you know, you could add another couple hundred of long tails, but you just don't have the room, you know, whatever it is, I get it. But these books are out there. There's many books out there like this that sell consistently. A 9 million sales rank for a book is super high. That is a book that has rarely sold. So I was really excited to sell this to prove that these kind of books do sell. Even a super high sales rank book on Amazon does sell. And I made that video recently, a couple of videos ago, about the no sales rank book that's sold on Amazon, which I've only done a couple times, but usually requires some sort of specific niche down, unique, rare, super rare book that you just can't find anywhere else. And the only copy is your copy, essentially, which was not the case for this. If I had the only copy of this, there was nothing else on eBay, nothing else on Amazon, then it could have sold quicker. I could have listed it for more. Of course, they can't take offers on Amazon, so it probably would make sense. Again, I'm saying this again, is to list it on both platforms, this type of book, because eBay, I could have listed it for around the same amount and taken offers, and maybe it would have sold, because the other one that's going for 85 is much higher, and nothing has sold in the last 90 days. Well, I was super excited about the sale. Hopefully you learned something. I'll see you next video. Take care. Bye.